Okay, welcome to this evening's regular business meeting. We're going to have our invocation by Minister Roman Tarplin, Now Faith Apostolic Church in Rex, I believe. He'll be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. If you would, please stand with me.
Psalms 133 and 1 reads, Behold, how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. We'll bow heads. God, today we say thank you for all that you've done for all of us, our community, and the great county of Clayton. Thank you on behalf of all who are gathered here today. Thank you for your many blessings, your grace, and your mercy. Thank you for your gifts, anointings, and knowledge that you've bestowed upon all of us, and we do not take that for granted, because without you, there's nothing, but with you, all things are possible to them that believe. And on today, we believe that as our elected officials of this great county come together in unity with one mind, one strength, and no division, you will give them new wisdom to govern our county affairs, conflicts, and issues in our communities. Give them a renewed sense of the needs of our people and the confidence to follow you and allow your will to be done in this meeting on tonight. God, allow our leaders the ability to work together in harmony. Even when there's honest disagreements, we pray that you bring them together in peace with resolutions. Finally, God, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of a good report, if there be any virtue and if there be any praise, we pray that we will thank you and think on these things. God, we thank you for allowing us this ability to be actively involved in our communities, giving our input and useful work for the benefit, progression, and growth of Clayton County. God, we say thank you. We love you. We give you glory and honor. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our February 15, 2022 regular business meeting. The first order of business is the adoption of the agenda. Do any members have any amendments?
Yes, Madam Clerk, I would like to add as an emergency item, the emergency exists because we need to get this project going by March 1st, and we don't meet until March 2nd. So that's the premise behind having it entered today as a emergency item. It's a budget amendment out of the 2015 SPLOST and an amount of $1.2 million for paving at the International Park. Is there a second? And I would like to add this to the consent agenda. Second. Is there any questions? Those in favor, aye.
Aye. Can you tell me who made the second?
Commissioner Davis.
Thank you.
Are there any others on the agenda?
Yes. I would like to take number 10 out of the consent and put it on the regular agenda.
Madam Clerk, a motion is to
No motion.
number 10, probate court additional positions.
Number 18.
Wait a minute. Okay, number 18.
Yes.
I'll make that. Number 18, go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, and number 22.
All right, 18 is Resolution 2022-32, authorizing Clayton County to enter MOU with the Senior Services Department Alzheimer's Association. And you said 22, correct?
Yes.
Okay, 22 is Resolution 2022-36, authorizing Amnesty Day Initiative for trash and debris disposal. Are there any others? And all of those are on the regular agenda.
Correct.
Any others? All right, hearing no others, accept a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second.
Probably moved to second. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous.
Our next item is presentation proclamation. Clayton County Board of Commissioners recognize the Office of Communications in honor of PRSA Excellence Award, Clayton County Branding Project.
Clayton County Board of Commissioners recognize the Office of Communications in honor of the PRSA Excellence Award for the Clayton County Branding Project. Whereas the Clayton County Board of Commissioners had sought for years to create and showcase all that Clayton has to offer by ensuring rebranding is priority in its strategic plan. A new logo, tagline, and marketing slogan was officially approved by the board on July 7, 2020. And whereas the award-winning Clayton County Board of Commissioners Office of Communications has earned the Public Relations Society of America Reputation and Brand Management Award of Excellence for the Clayton County Branding Project and was honored at the annual PRSA Georgia Award celebration. And whereas the Clayton County Board of Commissioners Office of Communications is recognized by PRSA for implementing best practices in developing a strategic, research-based, data-driven, effective brand development and marketing campaign, and as part of the strategic plan to improve communications and image, identity and recognition, which highlights success factors throughout the Clayton connected community for its services, programs, partnerships, and benefits for residents, businesses, prospective businesses, visitors, and partners throughout the county and the world, promoting all the positive aspects that Clayton County has to offer. And whereas the Clayton County logo, tagline, and marketing slogan was developed in consultation with 365-Degree Total Marketing and the Clayton County BOC Office of Communications after approximately 9 months of research and design phases with an all-in approach, including feedback from the board, employees, residents, students, business owners, partners, city leaders, and municipalities. Ultimately, the logo reflects the many positive aspects of the county, which is directly influenced by the county's diverse population, proximity to major metropolitan assets, and global connectivity, and positions Clayton County as a forward-thinking community focused on leveraging its strengths to strategically attract businesses and potential residents. And whereas the Clayton County logo has an array of colors highlighting Clayton County's unique elements and influences that were necessary to express the welcoming environment and diverse population. The graphics of the logo emanate from a circular or spherical shape that represents the ideas of totality, wholeness, timelessness, and the unity of the Clayton County community. The tagline, Clayton County, is CC Clayton Connected, which reflects Clayton County's connectivity to the world via interstate highways and Atlanta-Hartsville-Jackson International Airport. Reflects the sense of community that proliferates throughout Clayton County and its 7 municipalities, and plays out the common email abbreviation CC, which refers to Clayton County's digital infrastructure. And whereas the marketing slogan, where the world lands and opportunities take off, notes the Atlanta-Hartsville-Jackson International Airport, the world's busiest airport, is in Clayton County. Additionally, it portrays the optimistic view for various opportunities, whether it is in a business or personal goal, it can be achieved in Clayton County. Now, therefore, I, Chairman Jeffrey E. Turner, on behalf of Clayton County Board of Commissioners, do hereby honor and commend the Board of Commissioners' Office of Communications and its leadership for this notable accomplishment, seamlessly leading and executing the Clayton County Branding Project, delivering the county's official logo, tagline, and marketing slogan that is truly indicative of the gem called Clayton County. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of Clayton County, Georgia, to be affixed this 15th day of February 2022.
Let's give them another round of applause. Jeff Till's doing a fantastic job. Pretty much this concept behind us as well. It looks good.
The board will now hear public comments. Citizens will be given 3 minutes maximum time to speak before the Board of Commissioners. Please state your name and county of residency for the record. Speak clearly into the microphone, and speakers should be courteous, respectful, and not make any disparaging remarks or use abusive language when addressing the board.
All right, before I call the first name, I want to, first of all, let everybody know you have a right to speak at the public comments. You're 3 minutes now, but I see a lot of you signed up for zoning concerns. So when we have our zoning hearings, there will be public hearings. And that will give you an opportunity at that time to come forward and talk on a specific zoning issue. But if you'd like to, again, tell us at the beginning or talk at the beginning, you're welcome to do that. But there is a time and place for you to speak on a specific zoning issue, should you choose, as it comes up towards the end of the meeting. All right, first one's Terrell Mosley.
How's everyone? This is my first time ever coming and doing something like this. But hello. I'm Terrell Mosley, Clayton County. I've been a resident of Clayton County for 14 years now, a homeowner, and I'm starting to see a lot of development going on around there with the trees, the wood, the forest, everything is being torn down, particularly the area near North Clayton Elementary. They just bulldozer a whole, I guess more than acres of wood there. And I'm trying to find out is that private land, or how is that being done to the sold to these investors, and what is going up in that area? Because I know it's the elementary schools over there, and will it benefit our community, whatever they're putting up there? Because it seems like the woods are disappearing, but concrete is going up.
Do you have an answer for him?
Yes, that is a development with the city of College Park. It's
That's
going to be a multi-purpose facility with businesses and townhomes and all. But that is the city of College Park that's doing that.
so. Is that Clayton County still?
It's Clayton County, but the city of College Park is responsible for that, and they went through their zoning and everything to get that approved.
It's within the city limits of College
Okay.
Park.
And see, I'm still learning this on College Park, but on Clayton
But
County.
every city has their
Right,
own
the
mayor and city
unincorporated.
council.
Right.
We govern unincorporated areas of Clayton County.
Okay. And I may be in the wrong meeting, but another question, with these gas stations in our communities, I'm noticing that I don't know if it's legal or illegal. They charge one price for cash. If you pay cash, it'll be cheaper. The price of gas is cheaper. If you use a card, they're getting over with, you got to pay a higher price. I'm not sure how that works, but I'm starting to get involved. I'm about to get more involved in this in our community. Is that legal, you know? Or
It has nothing to do with us.
it's nothing to do? All
more of
right,
a
cool,
state.
cool.
It's more of a state.
Cool, all right.
First time you trying to put everything on us already.
But you know what, they may get charged different.
Yes, yes.
They may get charged, because, you know, I've had a business before, so they may get charged fees based on the using that, the machine. So that's probably why it's a little bit higher. So they're charging you based on those fees that the bank is charging them for the machines. So that may
So
be
they
one of
may-
the reasons.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, this is my first. It won't be my last meeting. So,
Good to see you.
all right.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Your time's up. Linda Jones.
Hello, my name is Linda Jones. I live in unincorporated Ellenwood, and I do have concerns that I'd like to bring to your attention, and you're probably already aware of them, but I'm still going to bring them to your attention again. You are our elected officials, and I just want you to remember to represent all of the constituents by upholding the oath of office that you accepted during your inaugurations. Sometimes it appears that distractions and clouded decisions made are caused by contractors or business owners who do not have the well-being of residents at heart. They come into District 1 making unhealthy proposals that you, the Board of Commissioners for Clayton County, approve. Again, we come to you asking that you will open your hearts and understand the urgency of our request to stop and desist the truck repair service that will be added to already unhealthy mounds of dirt, dust, exhaust fumes, and huge vehicles that daily impede our right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. No notices were properly given for residents near the construction site prior to this first enormous excavation of communities in District 1. We are already overwhelmed. We have warehouses, we have the parking lots, we've got the fumes, and all of this is within 1 mile of radius of the homes. The infrastructure in District 1 is quickly being severely weakened by your decisions. And we are very concerned because we know that there are other reliable businesses that can provide significant taxes for the county. I submit to you 152 residents of Grant Forest Subdivision who are petitioning that you do not allow this restrictive carnage at Williamson Road and Grant Road to proceed any further. I have the petition here and also have pictures, some of the pictures of the excavations that are being done at this time. So I would like to leave this with you. I may be in the wrong place in terms of the agenda, but I just wanted to make my point across to you. You've been very appropriate in listening to what I have to say, and thank you very much.
If you just give it to the officer, he'll make sure we get him. Mickey Garber.
Ms. James, Madam Clerk, Mickey Garber, unincorporated Rex, Georgia. My comments tonight is again on our underpaid first responders and others. Our system of law and order and protection of our citizens is broken. Why is it broken? Let me explain. Undermanned. Why? Experienced personnel, 5 and 10 years of experience, leaving and going to other counties with higher pay. Result, leaving the hardworking, law-abiding citizens of this county unprotected. Also broken, our judicial system. How and why? When Solicitor Brooks has to come here begging for more money to retain and hire personnel to protect us, the citizens, from the criminal population of our society. And because he cannot deliver a speedy trial in the American way, he has to set the criminal free to again perpetrate their same crimes on the hard-working, law-abiding taxpayers of this, our county. Our system is broken, and a new branding will not fix this broken system. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Orlando Good.
Orlando Good in Clayton County, Madam Clerk, Commissioners, Chairman Turner. I like the work sessions because it helps prioritize the allocation and distribution of county funds. The presentations by Police Chief Roberts, Chief Murkison, DA Mosley, Solicitor General Charles Brooks are all important for our safety. Commissioner Hamburg asked if the Sheriff's Department qualifies as first responders in Clayton County. Their training, responsibilities, and jurisdiction is different. They are to secure the jail, the courts, serve warrants, and back up the police officers. The presentation by Human Resources Director Pamela Ambles and Resource Officer Ryan Shaw was very good. They speak about how to increase retention of county employees. So this board has some important decisions to make. Do you give the Board of Education the additional $10 million they requested, or do you address immediate needs, the public's safety and employee retention? Commissioner Anderson, you like Mr. Gusta's public comments about the benefits of mandatory trash pickup. Neither you nor Mr. Gusta gave a dollar amount for the total cost. At the last work session, you told the refuge officer, quote, "We do have a plan. We just take our time and don't just put it out there. If you have one, how much? It's called transparency." Is it really a plan or is it a scam? You also have said you want true data and true validity. So where is it for the mandatory trash pickup? We all want a clean county, but this is not the solution. A goal without a plan is nothing but a wish. With rising inflation, we wish you would stay out of our pockets.
Stanley Muhammad.
In the name of God, the beneficent, the merciful, I greet you all in the greeting words of peace, of Assalamu alaikum. I come before you on May 11th, 2016. My daughter, Kira Naila Muhammad, on her 7th birth anniversary, was on her way to get some birthday gifts with her 2 sisters. When they approached Old Dixie and Upper Riverdale Road, they was approached by an unscrupulous firefighter, Christopher Stripling, who was illegally hired by this county. He had a DUI driving history on his pre-employment application, and according to the website of Clayton County, it's a disqualification to hire someone with a DUI. He was driving illegally in the wrong lane at a horrific speed at an intersection that this county knows is a very dangerous intersection, Old Dixie and Upper Riverdale Road. If he was driving in the proper lane, my daughter Kira, who suffered severe injuries, as a result she died the 1st of this year as a result of the injury. If he was driving in the proper lane, the accident would have never happened. If he would have not run the red light, the accident would have never happened. And on top of that, after the accident, a first responder, as they talked about, was concerned, according to his own witness statement, about the damage of the fire truck than my daughter, who suffered from deprivation of oxygen to the brain. But there's a black firefighter who came from the rear and got to my daughter faster than Christopher Stripling, who has a multiple disciplinary action before he actually caused my daughter's death. A multiple. So this county was fair warned. But then on top of that, my daughter who was driving was fallaciously scapegoated and saying that the traffic, red light traffic camera that was at Tara Boulevard and Upper Riverdale Road that focused on that light at Tara, they said Lieutenant Reimers of Clayton County Police Department lied in an email, liably, and slandered my daughter and said she ran the light. That was the light of Tara Boulevard, not Old Dixie. And in fact, the Georgia Highway Patrol, Sergeant Robillard, said that is not the light of Old Dixie. That is Tara Boulevard. That light in that video of Old Dixie cannot be seen, but it was seen. At 000 in the beginning of the video, you'll see my daughter's clear green light at Old Dixie. So I'm saying, your law firm, Freeman, Mathis, and Gary, have lied continuously. Judge Shalonda Jones Parker lied and said she ran the light. They all lied. And I'm asking for justice. And I'm asking for justice not tomorrow, but for my daughter now. If it was your daughter.
Listen, sir, your time is up. I apologize for that, and definitely condolences on your loss.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Donna Mullins.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'll say my issue seems rather trivial following his. God bless you. And my prayers are with your family. I pray one day that the Ellenwood community is not up here saying the same thing to you, because you continue to allow vehicles that are unsuited on roads that can't handle them. Tonight's the third Tuesday, so you know I'm here if it has to do with Ellenwood. Zoning matters. I ask you, Commissioners, to consider two things in all of your zoning decisions. Is it good for the county? And is it good for the community the applicant is asking you to put it in? If you can't say no, yes to both of those, then the answer should be no to any applicant asking for any variance, any zoning change, or any conditional use permit. There are many, many, many situations where public safety may come back around again. And I pray that none of my community ever have to stand in front of you today like that gentleman did. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Carol Yancey.
Carol Yancey, Ritz. During the February 1st BLC meeting, comments and presentations about our first responders' need for a 23 to 40% pay increase, Solicitor Brooks' 6,000 case backlog, staffing and budget needs, $92,000 for 22. Also coming before this board requesting funds since 21. And the fact this board approved themselves a 76 pay increase, net change $100,000, effective January 2021 during the pandemic and before the regular budget approval process. January 18th, 2022, DA requested classification restructuring for redistribution of funds previously approved within her office, a savings of $26,589. This board disapproved both, instructing to wait until regular budget process. This board is consistently inconsistent, except when it comes to practicing double standards, with rules, policies, regulations, and processes put in place for everyone to abide and adhere to, except you all. Since the board continues to create unnecessary obstacles and delays for our county judicial system, preventing them from doing their jobs in a timely manner, the citizens' only hope is poetic justice will soon prevail against you all. Unresponsive series, one of many that I will be coming before you all. Commissioner Anderson, November the 20th, 21st, 3:22 p.m. I sent you and Chairman Turner an email regarding concerns, 3 requests and 6 questions. No response. I followed up again January the 18th. Still no response. Why? Why are you not responding? For the record, the request submitted as follows. Submission for you all to add Keep Clayton and Beautiful program. A detailed presentation conducted by the Tax Assessor Office during a regular Board of Commissioner meeting or work session as to why our property value assessments are so inflated. Lower health benefits plans for county employees to recruit and retain good employees. I will continue to come up here about all the emails I've sent over the past 2.5 or 3 years until all of them are placed on public record. February the 8th, Commissioner Anderson, you made a statement regarding trash amnesty pickup. We do have a plan, we just don't put it out there. Any plans this board has regarding our tax dollars are considered open records and should be published for the citizens to view. The poor leadership and lack of responsiveness and transparency is unacceptable.
I'm sorry, your time is up, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lane Thomas. Lang Thomas. Terry Thomas. No. Dwayne Jones.
Kind of nervous. I've never done this before except for the 31st when I come in here. I was shaking more than I was the day I said I do to my wife. I've lived in Clayton County. My name's Dwayne Jones, and I'm from the county. I've lived in Clayton County since 1959. I've lived at my residence in Ellenwood since 92. I've seen good things in this county, and I've seen bad things in this county. That happens in every county. My concern is for the zoning. We came up here January 31st, and the zoning commission listened to us, and they denied these people. Now I see there's another sign. It's at Grant Road, right there, Grant and Williamson. Now I see they got another sign. They're going to have another meeting on February the 17th in 2 days for the zoning again. It's an appeal. But what gets me is the people are unsafe. I've got pictures which I'm going to hang on to until we go to the 17th. But they got open culverts. I mean, open culverts now, big sewer culverts that kids could got into. They didn't cover them up. They covered up one Sunday and one yesterday. They say this is going to be a parking facility for probably trailers. Well, then they don't need the gas lines and the water lines and the sewage lines and the sewage culverts and pipes for parking. They don't care, apparently, this is my opinion, they don't care what y'all say. They're going on through with this. They've already got curbs all the way around the place, concrete curbs. They've got fencing all the way around it. They've got all these water, sewer, utility lines and everything. Georgia Power even went in and put them in there. As far as the roads are too small for 18-wheelers to come in. I drove a truck, an 18-wheeler for Georgia Power for 34 years. I brought my truck and trailer home one time, pulled into my Lakeside mobile home community. I never brought that truck back again. We've got a man up the street on Williamson. His mailbox has been hit so many times and spun around sideways.
I can believe it.
By cars now, that he just left it turned sideways. And if you want to see tractor trailers, go up to Walmart. That's the truck stop in there. But these roads are too small. The curves are so sharp that even when, and y'all know, when a tractor trailer makes a right turn, those wheels don't come all the way up and turn with you. Your trailer, they eat up the side of the corner. We've got a curve right there at the church on Williamson. I have actually seen a car leave the road in that curve and go straight up into the church parking lot.
Your time is up, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Listening.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good day.
Joshua Muhammad.
Mr. Chairman, this would be the last one in 30 minutes.
It's the last one on the list.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and that Muhammad is his messenger, and that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is his divine and holy reminder in our midst. I'm here tonight to stand in strong solidarity with my brother Stanley Muhammad and my family, my niece Akira Muhammad. The county can consider and talk and listen to all the complaints, but there is no complaint that is greater than the loss of a human life. Whether it be black, brown, red, yellow, white. 60 years ago, we would be standing here before another body, seeking the same kind of reconciliation. And most of us are old enough and wise enough to know we would be turned down. I'm asking that this August body take in strong consideration the loss of my niece, the loss of my brother and my sister's daughter, and give them just compensation for what has happened. You all have the facts. I need not bother this committee again with what my brother has already illustrated and articulated to this committee. We have a responsibility, and that's to rezone our attention to the hearts and minds of the people that pays their dues to be a part of this county. I've been a part of this county since 93, and I worked hard and had several children to graduate from this county, and done all I can and could to work hard. There's much that's going on, but again, we cannot continue to ignore what really matters, and that is human life. Black, brown, red, yellow, white, doesn't matter. Let's do what's right. Let's take care of the business as our brother opened up, my fellow pastor. It's a wonderful thing, as Psalm said, when we meet together in brotherhood and sisterhood. But it's greater when we meet to do what is right, to make real changes and meaningful changes. And that is, we do what is absolutely necessary and correct the wrong. You have the facts, we have the facts. We know what happened. We need not bother this committee with that. Let's do what's right. Let's take care of the business of what God would want us to take care of. So in Jesus' name, I'm asking this commission to do what is right in his holy and righteous name. With that being said, thank you again. I greet you as I came before you. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you.
Peace.
Madam Clerk, that concludes public comment.
The board will now consider the consent items.
All right, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Any questions on any of the items? Hearing none, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
First item is item number 10, probate court additional position, reduced part-time budget. I won't read it because I know Pam finna read it.
You're not trying to say I'm long-winded, are you, Brenda? Good evening, Chairman, Madam Vice Chair, Commissioners, and good evening to our Clayton County citizens. Human Resources, we only have one item this evening. LR 6288. On behalf of Probate Court, Human Resources is requesting to delete 3 part-time probate court clerk positions, and we're requesting to add a full-time probate court clerk at a grade 12, step 4. Total compensation,
43,473. It has a salary of $29,331. We are requesting to delete these positions. They have remained vacant throughout 2021, and traditionally, it has been a little difficult to recruit part-time positions for probate court. So to maximize resources, probate court seeks to add an additional full-time probate court clerk to its allocations. The budgetary impact results in a savings for budget year 22 of $26,748, and BY 23 there will be no budgetary impact.
All right, I see Judge Ferguson is here. Would you have anything to add to that, Judge? Please.
Ian Ferguson, I appreciate the ability to come before you, but we have just had difficulty filling these positions, and we can't continue to have positions that we cannot fill. So I'll be happy to answer any questions that anyone has.
All right, when we get to that section, so is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second the motion. Motion was made by Commissioner Davis, seconded by me. Are there any questions? All right, hearing none. Those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
3-1, it passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Commissioners.
The next item is item number 18, Resolution 2022-32.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, Madam Vice Chair, and Board. Resolution 2022-32 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County through Senior Services Department to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Alzheimer's Association Service Center to create a framework of cooperation between agencies for mutually beneficial programs, to authorize the chairman or his designee to execute any documents relating thereto, and to otherwise perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of the resolution, to authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget where necessary to reflect an appropriate revenue source and expense, to provide an effective date of this resolution and for other purposes.
All right, is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I second.
Probably moved in second. Are there any questions?
Yes.
Commissioner Hamburg.
Okay. How long will this agreement be in?
Effect.
Yes, in
This is a year-long agreement.
In the MOU, it's written for 3 years because we're almost halfway through this FY year.
It's for 3 years?
3 years.
Okay.
Okay. I couldn't pull mine up. So what's the budgetary impact?
There's no budgetary impact to the county.
Okay.
It's a MOU for mutually beneficial
Well,
programs.
let me just back up, because in the MOU, it does say state shared resources.
Mm-hmm.
So that may be resources that we already have inside of senior services that we may share with ASC.
Okay. What about staffing and all?
It doesn't have anything to do with staffing. It's just shared resources. We had a MOU with ASC 2 years ago, but it lapsed, and so we're bringing it back. But it's also to provide transportation for some day trips. So if like we were already taking a day trip, we would invite ASC to go. Those participants would have to sign a waiver or a release of liability in order to ride one of the senior services buses. It also allows for fundraising opportunities inside our senior centers, which is what we did under the previous MOU. It's just two organizations that have mutually shared responsibilities, and we're just trying to work with them to make sure that the seniors at ASC are able to age gracefully in their homes.
And no budgetary impact for the county?
Not based upon this MOU. How this MOU is written, no. Now, again, I did say shared resources. Now, if a need should arise at ASC, it is giving them permission to ask the county for something, but that was something that would have to be either brought back before the board or either discussed with the COO.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Chairman.
Next item is item number 22, Resolution 2022-36.
A resolution 2236 is a resolution authorizing the Amnesty Day Initiative for trash debris disposal, to authorize the chairman to execute all documents necessary and otherwise to perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of the resolution, to authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget where necessary to reflect an appropriate revenue source and expense, all as may be required, to provide an effective date of this resolution and for other purposes. And the Amnesty Day Initiative is to be conducted on March 11th, 12th, 18th, and 19th at strategic locations in the county.
Is there a motion? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
I second that.
Any questions?
Yes.
Commissioner Hambrick?
Will we have any shredding with this process?
Good evening, Board. Commissioner Hambrick. As of right now, no, ma'am. We won't have any shredding, any shredders for the Amnesty Day. We've talked about asking one of the vendors to potentially bring some way that we can dispose of paper goods. But right now, no, there's not a shredder part of the actual Amnesty Day on those respective days.
Oh, okay. And did we get the locations together for each district?
Have not followed back up with the warden and refuse control. We should be able to provide that information to the board, hopefully before the close of business tomorrow, and then we'll start advertising no later than Friday.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And when you advertise, you're going to advertise those type items that will be accepted, bulk items.
That is
And
correct.
Give an example of what those items are.
Yes, sir.
And so,
I was just gonna say that same thing. Make
Commissioner
sure that you advertise what bulk items we can take and what, make sure that we don't take any poisonous items, which I know you'll say so.
Yes, ma'am, certainly will.
And we will
Liquids,
then designate
flammables.
which districts. There'll be 2 districts on the first weekend and 2 districts on the second.
That's correct. So once we determine the locations, we'll try to make some determination on which 2 districts we'll do the first weekend, and then the following 2 districts will be covered the following week.
Now, did we make a decision on the land, as far as the landfill goes?
Yes, that's part of the resolution.
I'm sorry?
That was part of the resolution. That would also include the landfill.
So that
There will
would
be
be
no
free
tipping fees on those respective days. That's correct.
So will both districts have 2 days? Or District 1 may have the 11th, District 2 may have the
So
12th?
for an example, if we do the 11th and the 12th, and we do District 1 and 2, that Friday and Saturday will impact those 2 districts.
okay.
The following week would be District 3 and 4.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you, well done.
All right, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, item 24 to 29 are board appointments.
First board appointment is to Water Authority. Emma Godby, term on the Water Authority will expire March 1st, 2022. New term begins March 1st, 2022, and expires March 1st, 2027. This is Commissioner Hambrick's.
Yes, I would like to reappoint Ms. Emma Godby.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Next board appointment is the Library Board. Ms. Deborah Jester has resigned from the Library Board. New board appointment will begin immediately and will expire October 19th of 2024. Commissioner Hambrick.
I will hold that one, please, for the next meeting.
All right, hold that one,
I will
Madam.
just hold it. Don't let me say the next meeting. I would like to hold it.
Just hold it until
Was it March
you're notified to place
Yes.
it back on.
Thank you.
Next board appointments to the Veterans Advisory Board. This appointment is to replace Mr. Paul Winfrey, who passed away the month of December. New appointment will begin immediately and expire June 6, 2024. That is Commissioner Franklin's selection or recommendation, and she's not here, so let's hold it till the next meeting. Next board appointments to the Ethics Board. Ms. Tiffany Jones' term will expire February 2nd, 2022. This appointment is a recommendation to Clayton County NAACP, which will begin February 2nd, 2022, expire February 2nd, 2026. I still have not heard from them, so hold that one as well. Next board appointments, Ethics Board. Mr. Samuel Dixon resigned from the Clayton County Board of Ethics July 1st, 2021. This appointment is a recommendation of the Clayton State University. New board will begin February 2nd, or new term, 2022, and expire February 2nd, 2026. I did hear from Dr. Stewart today but he was having a hard time getting with the person who has the name of their selection. So let's hold that to the next meeting as well. Board appointment to the Behavior Health and Developmental Board. Mia Bellinger resigned from the Behavior Health and Developmental Disabilities Region 3 Advisory Council. New appointment will begin immediately and will expire January 31st, 2024. Commissioner Anderson.
Mr. Chairman, let's hold that to the next meeting, please.
All right, Madam Clerk, you're clear?
Yes.
And that concludes board appointments.
Okay. Next are our public hearing. Citizens may speak for or against an item that's considered by law to be a zoning decision, and each side will have 10 minutes to present the case. In the event there's more than one speaker per side, speakers must divide their time in order to complete their full presentation within the 10-minute time allotment. Applicants or citizens speaking in favor of an item should speak first. Applicants in zoning ordinance cases shall have the right to reserve time for rebuttal. Opponents of a zoning decision shall have no right of rebuttal. When speaking, speak directly into the microphone and begin by stating your name, address, or name of the organization you represent. Abusive, profane, or derogatory language will not be permitted. Chairman. The first item is item number 30, BOC 2111-0166, which is a rezoning for mixed use, MX to multifamily residential, RM to construct a 128-unit attached townhome community.
Mr. McSwain.
Good evening, Chairman and board members. Just a point of clarity from staff. We noticed that items 30 and 31 are companion items, but we believe that item 31 should be read first, since this is the entry request before the rezoning. So we would likely recommend that we read item 31 first before 30.
All right, let's, any
So
board
the-
member have an issue with that?
You want to do 31 now?
31
So
first.
item 31 is BOC 2111-0165, FLUM, map amendment for general commercial, GC to high-density residential, HDR.
Again, for the record, that is BOC 2111-0165, future land use map amendment. The applicant Inline Communities is requesting the future land use map amendment for property located at 8040 Highway 85 on 15.2 acres of land, also known as parcel 13215C B009. Staff has reviewed over the applicant's request, and staff recommended approval of the future land use map amendment from general commercial to high-density residential. The zoning advisory board recommended approval as well for this request. And again, this has a companion case, will be item 30 for the rezoning. And I believe the applicant is here to present their case.
All right. Ms. Battle.
Good evening, Commissioners. Michelle Battle with Battle Law. You're representing the applicant. We have been, wrong one.
And before you start, as you can clearly see,
Obviously, I was going to say, are we even going to do this today?
Mr. Franklin is not here. If
Okay.
You can either ask for it to be tabled to the next meeting, or you can proceed today.
Or you're going to table it anyway. So, either way, it's getting tabled. So let's not prolong the agony here. We'll just ask for it to be tabled until the next meeting. Thank you.
Okay. All right. We'll make the motion to table until, somebody give me a date.
March 15th?
March 15th? All right, my motion is to table till March 15th. Is there a second?
Well, question, would you want to take the companion item as well?
Yeah, I think you can do
We can do that on that one.
31 and 30.
Ms. Battle, you good with that?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. My motion is to table 30 and 31 until March 15th. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Davis. Are there any questions? Hearing none, those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous.
Next item is item number 32, BOC 2111-0167, the CUP for Fleet Vehicle Repair and Service Facility for Tractor and Trailer.
Again, hello, board and chairman. This case, item 32, again, for the record, is BOC 21110167, conditional use permit. The applicant JPG Trans Capital is requesting the conditional use request for truck and trailer service facility that's located at 3861 Grant Road, also known as parcel 12245BC001. This property is located at the corner of Grant Road and Williamson Road. Staff has reviewed over this applicant's request, and the staff will also like to note that the current zoning at this moment does allow for truck parking, which was permitted. The applicant is coming before us to seek a conditional use for, in addition, a truck repair at this property. Staff is recommending denial of the applicant's request due to incompatibility and with the increase of use on the property being adjacent next to a residential subdivision. So again, staff is recommending denial, and the Zone Advisory Board recommended denial as well.
Applicant present. Please state your name and who you're representing, and also, would you like to save any minutes for rebuttal at the end of the public hearing?
I will. Thank you. William Deal for the law firm Thompson, O'Brien, Kapler, and Nasuti, 2 Sun Court, Suite 400, Peachtree Corners, Georgia. And I will reserve the remainder of my time once I make my initial presentation for rebuttal.
You need to tell me how many minutes.
I'll reserve 4 minutes.
Okay. Please set the timer for 6. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Board of Commissioners and Mr. Chair, and I am here tonight presenting the application for a conditional use permit. The applicant is JPG Trans. Currently, the property is zoned MXI, which is a mixed industrial and commercial zoning. It does allow, as staff mentioned, it does allow for truck storage as a matter of right. What we are here tonight is to present a proposal that would allow for a conditional use permit, would allow for repair. Reason why that's important, and one item that I do want to stress, is that allowing for repair means that my client can develop this for a better institutional client. These are logistics companies that have existing facilities that are more geared toward institutional uses. So logistics companies, FedEx, Amazon, these types of companies are looking for sites where they can perform minor repairs to their fleet vehicles. That's the reason that we've proposed this. There were a couple of comments that well, actually, first, before I get to those, this property is, as I mentioned, zoned MXI. It was previously zoned heavy industrial. The change in zoning was on account of a county-initiated rezoning that occurred in 2017, 2018. There are a number of industrial properties within the vicinity. Here we see that there are light industrial and heavy industrial facilities that are just across Grant Road. The future land use map identifies this particular property as use for an industrial use, and indeed mentions the property below it, which is currently zoned RS 180 for heavy industrial use. That's been established and through the course of my client's ownership of this property and his acquisition of this property, the future land use identified an industrial use that would have allowed for truck repair as a matter of right. To address some of the comments that I heard in public comments, as I mentioned, we are allowed to make this use as a matter of right. The MXI zoning designation requires that we have a mixed use. And on account of that, my client has agreed to build and construct a building. And that's one reason that the residents have seen the construction of utilities onto this property, because there will be office space in the building that is outlined there in our site plan. So that's the reason. There was some question about why sewer was coming in, why power was coming in. It's coming in to service this building, which will have office component. There is a hearing later this week that is for a variance concerning landscaping requirements within the interior of the development, not within the exterior, but wheel stops and landscaping requirements. So just so everyone here is aware, that is what's going before the court, or excuse me, before the Board of Zoning Appeals on Thursday. So with that, I'll reserve the remainder of my time. If there are any questions now, I'm happy to answer those. If we'll wait until rebuttal, I'm happy to answer them then.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, this is a public hearing, so is there anyone who want to speak in favor of applicant's request? Anybody in favor? All right, anyone like to speak in opposition to? Come forward, sir. Take gentleman here. Please put 10 minutes on the screen.
My name is Mari Gusta. I'm in the unincorporated area of Ellenwood in District 1. I humbly come before you tonight to ask that you vote no on this board agenda item. Providing this company a conditional use permit is detrimental to our community. This location sits in a major curve that is blinding on Grant Road in front of a petroleum gas location, which is considered light industrial. The entrance sits on Williamson Road due to that, even though it has a Grant Road address. Where the entrance is located, it sits at the bottom of a blinding hill. Also, the property sits in the middle of 5 subdivisions. So if you look at that location, you have Lakeside, Mobile Home Community, also Grant Forest, Village Crossing, Village Park, all of those, and also standalone homes that's on the back on Williamson Road. Families live in this community, and due to us not having sidewalks, there have been several close situations where kids have almost gotten hit by a tractor trailer. And according to my research, I have learned that roads are supposed to be 34 inches wide. However, our roads are narrow, and they are not meeting the required width for heavy tractor trailer traffic. Tractor trailers have gotten stuck several times in this location, which has held up traffic in the area. And when you vote, please think about the quality of life when it comes to the families who live in this community. Our community should live in a safe environment where we do not have to deal with these things.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Mullins.
Good evening, Donna Mullins, unincorporated Ellenwood, Georgia. Thank you, commissioners, for giving us time to speak tonight in opposition. As Mr. Dill rightly stated, the applicant can do many things under the current MIX. In fact, there's about 45 other uses that he can do other than what he's asking to do, because under MIX he can do OI and GB. But all of those would be very conducive to the community. If the applicant indeed wanted to work with the community and wanted to help build up Clayton County and the community, then the applicant could choose some 45 other businesses that would bring him money and the county money, as well as keeping our roads a little safer. JPG Trans, by the way, has had a business name change, so I'm not sure if that affects his application or not, but on 124, the company had a name change. I did send an email, excuse me, to all of you commissioners the other day. I received one acknowledgement, not from any of you. So I'm not sure if you saw the information that I provided with regards to more information from a Yale study about pollutants that happen in areas of this nature and how this piece of property is right next to people who are living there. If you think about the storage that they want to do, that's a 40-foot piece of equipment coming in. The repair service, though, makes it a 60-foot piece of equipment because you've got a 40-foot broken down, tethered piece of equipment being towed by a 20-foot, even heavier piece of equipment. Think about the damage of the roads. That chart is also in the email that I provided to you. It was provided by Wall Street Journal. In 2017, as he mentioned, as Mr. Dill mentioned about the change to MX, in 2017, if you remember, that was when Commissioner Gregory decided to change the 2008 blanket sweep of West Williamson Road that was swept heavy industrial back to what it was supposed to have been, which was residential. If you remember, my home was zoned heavy industrial, and I came up here an awful lot about that. So the only reason that one piece of property did not get zoned back residential as it should have was because it carried a Grant Road address, which now has a Williamson Road entrance and exit. I just want to remind you what I said this earlier in public comment. If you can't answer yes to is it good for the county, and yes, is it good for the community, then the answer you should provide is no. Thank you.
Anyone else like to speak? Sir, come on. After you speak, I'll get the gentleman in the back with the black hat on.
As I said, my name's Dwayne Jones. I live in Lakeside Mobile Home Community, and that's right there on Grant. They was talking about this petroleum company right across the street from where they're putting this project at, doing this project at. We've already had problems with that too, but it's been there before I got there. And they have tractor trailers pulling in, turning into their business. They get their cab in there, their trailer's out in the street, so this driver can get out there and unlock the gate and get back in his truck to move it out of the way. We've had cars come around that curve and almost hit these tractor trailers. It's like tankers. But we've got kids getting on and off the bus right there. I do Santa at our place, and I really worship these kids, and I have seen them in so much danger. We had a lady coming from Walmart pushing a shopping buggy that I wasn't supposed to leave the parking lot, but I was coming towards her, and she was coming from Walmart headed down Williamson Road. I told you about the mailbox. 2 cars come down through there. When they passed, she run her buggy off into a yard and turned her buggy over, just trying to get home. I'm sorry. I just get kind of emotional. We don't need this in our property. The environmental, as far as the air, all the exhaust. I know, like I said, I drove an 18-wheeler. The exhaust isn't good for you. I lived under the Atlanta airport over there in Forest Park since '59 till I went into service. I got COPD, and we can't, the airport's a good thing for us. I'm not denying that. But the streamers that you see coming off the wings, if you're standing at the farmer's market, they're dumping their fuel before they go into the final landing approach. I got COPD. I lost a sister with cancer, daddy with cancer, mama with cancer, 8 more people in our block. The airport said it wasn't their fault. Well, maybe it wasn't. I can't deny that. But they come in and put central heating and air in all our houses and storm windows. But I just want to thank y'all for listening to me, and we sure need this denied. We don't need any kids getting hurt. I would hate to face somebody that their child got hurt on this road. Thank you, sir.
And thank you for your service. Yes, sir.
Good evening. I'm Joseph Bridges, and I live in the Grant Forest subdivision. I just have a few comments in regards to safety. I personally, about a month ago, was just coming out of my subdivision and going down Grant toward Conley Road. And anyone that knows that street knows that there's a curve right by the, like you say, petroleum, that little propane company. There was an 18-wheeler coming around that corner coming up past the trailer park. And that sucker veered off toward me and looked like that trailer was gonna come over and fall on me. I just started praying. I was like, oh Lord. I couldn't, if I veered off to the right, I was gonna go off the road. Like he said, it's so narrow. Thank God nothing happened. And I was just thinking about all the kids that I have seen get off the school buses and have to jump out of the way of cars. These are just regular cars. We're not talking about fully loaded 18-wheelers that can't stop at a dime. And I just shake my head. And of course you have all these, I'm getting older, Lord, these young folks coming down Grant thinking they're on a raceway, and the Chargers and the Challengers, and you hear the motors revving up all times of the night. And I'm like, and they can't stop. So imagine what a fully loaded truck, tractor trailer. And of course, as they say, it's a repair. So it's already under repair, so it may not even have brakes. So I'm just thinking about the safety of our children, myself, And I can say that I have been coming down for a few years in regards to opposition to the variance to have the road widened so that the trucks could turn. I don't know how it got through, but I do know that they are in the process of looks to be widening the roads to allow the trucks to turn. And like the gentleman said before, I personally have pictures to where they've had to call the tractor trailer tow trucks, and you know them things are tractor trailers themselves. So and they have 2 tractor trailers blocking the road. So we actually have to go all the way around Grant to go past Williamson and then just to get around. So imagine that's just one instance, and if that's going to be an everyday occurrence, that's just unthinkable, you know. So I am in opposition of this since day one. And like I do agree, there are other avenues for the property that can be used. I'm not trying to say they can't use it, but I do believe that there are other things to be done.
Thank you, sir. Your time is up.
Sorry.
Thank you. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you now.
All right. That's it for public comment. Yes, sir. You have 4 minutes for a rebuttal.
Thank you, and I'll be brief. One thing I do want to stress is this is fleet repair, and it's intended for fleet repair. So it's intended for regularly scheduled maintenance, and not intended to be for a use for vehicles that are be brought in. These will be largely vehicles that are a part of a fleet that will be serviced, oil changes, things like that that'll be done in the building. So, you know, the concerns about having a vehicle that's in disrepair, that will be addressed just given the nature of this project. As I've mentioned, this use is allowed as a matter of right, or truck storage is allowed as a matter of right. We're just asking that repairs be allowed as well on this property. Repairs could be made across the street, across Grant Road. This use is allowed as a matter of right. And the future land use map indicates that the parcel below our property, that a heavy industrial zoning would be appropriate. So I'd ask that the commissioners, that you all consider that as well. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you have regarding our application or regarding the use.
Mrs. McSwain, I don't think I saw any conditions or anything, was it?
It was recommended for denial, so no conditions.
Okay. Yeah, that would do it. Commissioner Anderson.
Good evening. I make the recommendation that, or the motion to deny the applicant JPG Trans Capital request for a conditional use permit for a fleet vehicle repair and service facility for tractor and trailer use. Thank you.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Davis second the motion. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous.
Thank you.
The next item is item number 33, BOC 2102-0098, FLUM map amendment, transportation and utilities designation to medium density residential, MDR to allow PUD planned unit development.
Chairman of the board, again, this is BOC 2102-0098. This is a future land use map amendment from medium density destination, from transportation to medium density residential, excuse me. Staff has reviewed over the request and is recommending approval of the applicant's request of the land use map amendment. Zach recommended approval of the request as well, and the applicant is here to present as well.
Good evening. Good evening again. Michelle Battle with Battle Law, 3562 Habersham at North Lake, Tucker, Georgia 30034. It should be noted before we get started that the Planning Commission did recommend approval with a reduction of the land use to low density residential, and that is what we are requesting here today.
Any minutes for a rebuttal?
Huh?
Any minutes for a rebuttal?
4 minutes is fine.
Put 6 minutes on the timer, please. Please proceed, ma'am.
Okay, if I can get this together. The purpose of this development, again, is to develop for 301 single-family detached homes. We've got 75 acres, and we're at 3.9 units per acre. The current zoning on the property is AG. We are proposing a PUD. The current land use designation, which I know that's the portion of the project that we're on right now, is transportation utilities. And we are perplexed as to why the property would have that land use designation when it is property that is owned by a private citizen. It is not part of the water authority property that is directly across the street where that has that land use designation. We are immediately adjacent to Nash Farm. And when you look at the map here, this is the zoning map that shows the AG1, and across the street you see AG1 as well in green. However, oops, let me go back. Okay, it's moving fast. However, you see here that it has that transportation utilities designation, which is the same color and the same land use as the water authority of property directly across the street. We are looking to have this property amended for the land use to low-density residential in order to allow it to be consistent with the only parcel that is owned by, or not owned by, but is in the county's jurisdictional boundaries on this side of the street for low-density residential. The overall project is for a 301 unit subdivision. We initially started out with over 300 units at 388 units with a townhome component and a commercial component. We have since dropped that component of the project and believe that the updated, ooh, this is very sensitive, updated, okay. There we go. Updated site plan. The updated site plan better represents some of the issues and concerns that have been raised with regards to the project, particularly in regards to density. We dropped again from 388 units to 301 units. We removed all of the townhomes. We removed all of the commercial component. We've got a project where you come into the site. You've got a cul-de-sac, not a cul-de-sac, but a roundabout in the center next to the amenity area where we have a pool and gazebo. You go into, we've got kind of scallop sidewalks as well as a second amenity area towards the bottom end of the site where you've got the lake and walking trails, dog park, and other amenities. We also have a second or third amenity area towards the top of the site off of McDonough, and that is additional area for recreation for this overall community. I'll try and stick to just the land use component of this. We do have a little slide presentation video that we would like to show you when we go to the next component of the project. Thank you. I'll just stop there. I'm going to start there.
All right, this is a public hearing. Does anyone here would like to speak in favor of applicant's request? Anybody like to speak in favor too? Anyone like to speak in favor of? All right, anybody like to speak in opposition to? Anybody in opposition? Anyone in opposition? Ms. Battle, you want to utilize your 4 minutes?
No, sir.
Commissioner Davis.
Thank you, Ms. Battle. For some reason, I thought it was 396 and it dropped down. It was 388.
I think it did start out a little higher, and then we dropped to 388, and then we dropped it again.
Yeah, twice. I recommend that we approve this land use
Is there a
map
second?
amendment.
Second.
Any questions? Those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Oh, wait a minute. Go ahead, Ms. Smith. I'm sorry, we're jumping the gun on you. Go ahead.
Just a point of clarity for the board that you are going to be voting on the land use map amendment designation of low density residential, which is for 3.9 units per acre.
Okay.
So that's your motion.
Yes. Add that to it.
All right.
Thank you.
And I think Commissioner Hambrick seconded, right?
Okay.
Yes. All right, any questions? Those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous.
Next item is item number 34, BOC 2102-0097 PUD, AG Agricultural District to PUD Plan Unit Development for Avery Landings for 301 single-family detached homes.
Once again, oops, sorry.
Again, for the record, this is case BOC 21020097, agriculture to PUD rezoning, and the mentioned parcel for this location is 06102-123-003. Staff is recommending approval with conditions. Zach, the zoning advisory board, recommended approval with conditions as well, and I'll read those conditions for the record. Number one, the development shall be consistent with the conceptual plan. Proposed amenities submitted by the applicant via email on November the 12th, 2021. The maximum number of residential lots shall be 301. Number two, all homes must have front facades constructed of 40% brick, stone, or hard coat stucco, or any combination thereof, with the remaining facade consisting of hardy plank and other accent materials. Vinyl shall only be permitted to be used in the eaves and soffits. Condition number three, amenity areas shall reflect the submitted site plan dated on November the 12th, 2021, with the combination of the following: a dog park, walking trail, playground, picnic, pavilion area. The proposed walking trail should be constructed of crushed stone, wood chips, or mulch. Condition number four, a plan book shall be submitted prior to the final plat application to the Community Development Department that shall include but not limited to building elevations, design criteria applicable for entries, porches, doors, windows, dormers, columns, cornices, rakes, garages, roofs, landscaping, fencing, retaining walls, exterior colors, and materials. Condition number five, a homeowners association shall be established for the proposed development for the purpose of providing sustainable maintenance of common areas, covenants, regulating sustainable uses and structures. Condition number six, along the frontage of McDonough Road, there shall be a 40-foot landscape area with decorative privacy fencing. Condition number seven, road access plan to be reviewed and approved by the Clayton County Transportation and Development Department prior to the submittal of the final plat application. Condition number eight, all single-family detached homes shall have a minimum of 2-car garages. That concludes the proposed conditions with this request.
Good evening again, Commissioners. Michelle Battle with Battle Law. A couple of things that we wanted to point out with regards to the site plan. We are providing for a 100-foot buffer along the perimeter of the site adjacent to the adjacent residential subdivision, at least on, I guess that would be the western boundary of the property. Additionally, we have scallop sidewalks that we have installed as well. All the lots will be a minimum of 50 foot wide. Again, we have no townhomes, commercial component, which reduce the amount of traffic, and we anticipate the build out to be 3 to 5 years. We do have some renderings of the site here as you're going into the site for Avery Landing. We're looking at, again, you can see the scallop sidewalks where we'll have the foliage as well as street furniture. You're looking at kind of a rendering of what the dock area will look like. The homes located within will be consistent with the overall requirements set forth in the conditions promoted by staff. So we would respectfully request for approval based on the staff's recommendation. Thank you.
All right, is there anyone here who'd like to speak in favor of applicant's request? Anyone like to speak in favor of? Anyone like to speak in opposition to?
I have some questions, Chairman Turner.
Come forth, Mr. Garber.
Mickey Garber, Unincorporated Rex, Georgia. I would respectfully ask what is considered the selling price of this proposed housing development in the way of taxes coming back to the county? And I would respectfully ask the construction, is it a 110 construction, of square footage, or is it a 180? These are my questions, and I would wish to have them answered.
Okay, thank you, sir. Mr. McSwain, do we know the price point of these homes?
I should defer that over to the applicant.
Ms. Battle?
Price point should be in the high.
And while we're waiting on that, this is a 120 or a 180?
This is a PUD, so
Oh, it's PUD.
Right, we anticipate the high 200s and 300s as a starting price. Understand that's the list price, and then people will be able to do upgrades and the like. So we anticipate the price points will be in the 300,000 range.
All right.
And up.
You got a follow-up?
Also, I'd like to respectfully ask, is it going to have any rental? With the guy building the houses, reserve any for rentals?
No.
That was easy enough. She said no.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else want to speak in opposition to? Come forward, man.
Questions, concerns as well, like he did.
Please take the mic, ma'am. State your name for us.
My name is Rhonda Black, and I live in the adjacent neighborhood, the Hunters Creek subdivision in unincorporated Hampton. And there was talk about privacy fence and stuff in the front. And I saw the picture that had the sign and all the big flowers and stuff at the front entrance. On the site plan there, back on the diagram, I drive past there multiple times a day, going to and from work. I drive up Jonesboro Road onto McDonough Road there, right past this piece of property, and I have concerns about visibility. It's not sharp, it doesn't look like it, but McDonough Road right there is curving to the left as you're approaching that entrance to the neighborhood. As you come through there, there's not much visibility. You're trying to turn left into that neighborhood, and you can't see those oncoming cars coming around that curve right now. There's trees there right now, which I know are gonna come down, but I'm not sure what all is gonna be put up in its place. But if you're coming McDonough Road and trying to turn left into that neighborhood, there's going to be accidents there because people can't see anything coming. So I have a big concern about the visibility there. And it's only a 2-lane road. If there's an accident there, traffic is stopped in both directions until it's cleared up. And then I can't get home and nobody else in my neighborhood can get home. That's the way it is. And right there in this area, just kind of as a point for commissioners, this is the end of Clayton County. This is where it butts up against Henry County right there, and McDonough Road changes over to Jonesboro Road. We're right there at the edge of the county, like we're falling off into nowhere, and we don't get any services. You can't call. I have several times tried to call Clayton County Police non-emergency line. You can't get anybody. Those people get on the phone with me, and they don't even know who to send to our neighborhood. They're like, oh, well, I guess you need to talk to the Lovejoy Police. Oh, no, you need to talk to the Hampton Police. That's the runaround I get when I try to call the police. And the nearest fire station we discussed a few weeks back is the other side of Terra Boulevard. We had a house right there on McDonough Road that burnt to the ground 2 years ago. It's being rebuilt today because fire department doesn't get there soon enough. I have safety concerns here, traffic-wise and emergency services and everything. I do appreciate the decrease in the number of homes. They're still packed in there a lot. I mean, if one house in that neighborhood catches on fire, they're probably going to lose about 6 houses because it's going to take that long for the fire department to get there. if they know which fire department to send. Because when I try to call the police, they don't ever know who to send. So I just still have a lot of safety concerns, but I do appreciate the decrease in the number of homes and getting rid of the commercial property. I think that's all.
And let me say this: when you go home, whether it's tonight or tomorrow, call 911 or call the supervisor for the 911 center, and they will actually tell you to call into 911 as a test, so they can see where your call is being routed.
Okay.
Now, our 911 center dispatches for Lovejoy and the county.
Okay.
So you're getting the same person, so I don't know why there's a mix-up as to who's
Yeah.
coming. And usually, they'll just send somebody anyway, and whoever gets there, they'll sort that out if there's emergency there.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
But please check with the 911
sometimes it
supervisor.
has to do with the cell
Towers.
phones and the cell towers.
Yeah.
If you're
Okay.
calling from a cell phone, but if you're calling from a landline,
Yeah.
I think it goes to the correct people. But if you're
That's a good
using a
point.
cell phone, it may go to
Okay.
a different tower.
And also, Chairman, I just want to let her know also.
Ma'am?
The road plan has to be approved before this development is built by county transportation.
In response, I wanted to point out.
Hold on a second, ma'am.
I'm sorry.
We still in public
Oh,
here.
I'm sorry.
All right, anybody else like to speak in reference to opposition? Anybody else oppose? All right, so I failed to ask you how many minutes you want rebuttal, so I'll
I
give you
don't,
the
just a
remainder of
couple
that
of-
time.
that's fine.
I'll give you the remainder of that time for rebuttal, so please.
That's fine. With regards to the right-of-way, we are going to be installing dedicated left turn lanes into and also decel lanes into the community. We did do a traffic study, and we will work with the transportation department to ensure that we have proper site visibility. That is an issue that we will have to address during the land development permitting process. Additionally, staff had asked for the fencing along the front. We will work with the staff and with the county arborist to make sure that we don't have any trees or any other obstacles, again, because site visibility is a key component here. And to the extent that the county would have any interest in any portion of the frontage where we were going to have the commercial piece, if there was any desire to have a fire station or something there, the applicant has indicated a willingness to work with the county with regards to that. So if that's something that you all are interested in, because we took out the commercial piece, there's a pretty large area there in front. So that is something that the applicant would be willing to discuss. Okay, thank you.
All right. Commissioner Davis.
Well, Ms. Battle, I do have one more, just something I'd like to add as to the conditions.
Yes, sir.
Just to make sure that we have them there, that these homes will not be sold to any type of investment group or hedge fund group.
That's fine.
Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
Ms. James said, can you speak up a little
I'm
bit?
sorry. I'm just quiet like that. No, I
Why
stated
y'all
I
laughing
want
so
the
loud?
condition put in that these units will not be sold to any hedge fund organizations or investor groups.
That's not a
Yeah,
problem. That's fine.
Thank you. You still got the ball in your court, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I move that we approve BOC.
Okay,
20
can I ask one question?
Sure.
Investor groups for rental, I assume you're talking about for rental?
Rental, yes.
Right. So in other words, they can't sell it off to somebody and it's just
That's
a
what-
rental,
there's a lot of
a rental
hedge fund
community.
groups, that's the going.
Gotcha. I just want to make it clear
program these
for rental.
days.
Right.
So I move that we approve BOC 2102-0097
Well,
with the 9 conditions.
And did she already agree to those? You already agreed to the other nine?
Yes, sir.
yeah, she agreed to. All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hambrick. Are there any questions? Any other questions? Well, matter of fact, I do have one. I seen the pictures. They're not cookie cutter homes, are they?
No, sir.
Okay, we have a variety.
No, that was just to give you a
Okay.
kind of a concept of what we will be looking for. But the builder will have specific, and we have to give the plan guide to the planning department. So I know that Patrick and Tyrus and Tyler will be fly-specking us all the way through. I have no doubt.
All right. Those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous.
Next item is item number 35, which is P Plat 2102-0017, which is preliminary plat for Avery Village approved for 301 single-family detached homes.
Again, this is PPLAT 2102-0017, preliminary plat, which is the third item to these companion cases. The parcel 06102123-003. Staff recommended approval for the conditions with the additional ninth condition, motion by Commissioner Davis. Zach recommended approval of the request, and the conditions still remain the same as previously approved for the rezoning.
Michelle Battle with Battle Law. We'll simply say ditto to our prior statements. Here for any additional questions. Thank you.
All right, this is a public hearing. Anyone want to speak in favor of applicant's request? Anybody in favor of? Anyone would like to speak in opposition to? Anyone opposed? Commissioner Davis.
This is, do we already? Again, this for preliminary plat. If we can put the same approval in there as far as for the non-sale to the hedge funds and investor groups.
Come back to the mic. I'd like to hear your lovely voice say, I do agree.
Yes, that is acceptable. Thank you.
I move that we approve 2102-0017 with the 9 conditions.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Hearing none. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous.
Item number 36 is BOC 2109-0144, is a CUP for a new place of worship.
For clarity, again, this is BOC 2109-0144. This is a conditional use request. The applicant, Pho Tai Lam, is requesting a conditional use permit for a new place of worship of 6.63 acres that is currently zoned agriculture and is also part of the Highway 42 overlay. Such a property is located at 6396 Highway 42 and known as parcel 12119B-A003. It is also located near the Creekwood Village Shopping Center. Staff reviewed over the applicant's request and has reviewed over the changes in their submitted site plan. Staff recommended approval with 3 conditions. The Zone Advisory Board recommended approval with those 3 conditions, and I'll read those for the record. Condition number 1, the temple and supporting religious facility shall not exceed 7,000 square feet, excluding the proposed and existing residential home for the property owner. The maximum impervious lot coverage shall not exceed 10% of the total lot area. Deviation from the required lot standards may be granted by the approval of the Board of Zoning Appeals via variance hearing process. Condition number 2, there shall be no lights projecting into the rear of the property adjacent to the residential parcels. Condition number 3, provide a decorative fence internal to the buffer around the perimeter of the property. Those will conclude those 3 conditions.
All right, Mr. Heck, how the heck are you? See what I did? Y'all see what I did?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, it's nice to be with you, and we appreciate the opportunity to present the temple, the Buddhist Temple Learning Center for your review. Thank you. Hope everybody's healthy and well. We represent the owner and applicant for this item who is requesting a conditional use permit for a small Buddhist temple learning center at 6396 Highway 42 in Rex. It's close to I-675 as well as the intersection of Fielder Road and Highway 42. I think you've got a packet in your view which kind of at the front shows you a little bit of what they're, an idea of the picture of kind of the temple that they're looking at in the meditation center and learning center. There's an aerial view, I think, on page 2, which gives you an idea of where it is with the red flag on top of the building. The next page gives you the site plan, which we put the big board up here to explain. You'll also see the plat beyond that, and you'll see another example of what it is. This is a very small-sized congregation. I believe there's 100 members. Most of the worship is individualized, except during 4 celebrations, generally during the year. It's not like as I understand it, not like a church service every Sunday. It's mostly individual meditation, prayer, and worship. And but on those 4 times during the year, they do come together. There will be. We're very pleased to have the main monk here, Mr. Hund, who has been very kind and gracious to us, and Fung Lam, who has been the real estate agent, who has been very kind and helpful to us on this project. There'll be some intermittent visiting. The purpose of it is for visitation and meditation, and it is not supposed to be busy. It's probably the easiest use I've ever had in a zoning hearing because it is for quiet meditation, prayer, and worship. Staff has told you most of what it is. It is a CUP. It will be gated. It's a small number of parking spaces, about 26. Happy to go over any of the uses. There is a letter also from Mr. Hine. I could read into the record if you desire, but I'll just leave it for right now. And I think it's fairly simple as described in the packet, but I'm here for your questions.
Out of the remaining minutes, would you like to save any for a rebuttal?
If needed, I'll save the remaining minutes for rebuttal. Yes, Mr. Chairman.
All 7?
I'm hoping I won't need it.
Okay.
Usually I find that if I say less, I do better.
Okay, so since the applicant has taken all the minutes for his rebuttal, there will be no call for anyone speaking in favor of. So at this time, it is a public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to? Anyone like to speak in opposition to? Mr. Heck, you have anything else to add?
As I said, usually I'm better when I say less.
Like the way you think. All right, Commissioner Anderson.
I really wanted to postpone this for more information at this time. Can I do that?
You can ask them.
Can I ask that this be postponed for more information at this time?
Can I talk?
Yeah, you can talk.
Sure.
Talk to you what you got.
Commissioner, it's your district, so I mean, obviously, we want to do what you want to do.
Okay.
Happy to delay if that's needed and to answer any questions you have. So we understand if that's what you desire.
Okay, thank
So
you.
you'd like to table it till when?
Table it to, you can do it to the next.
Which is March 15th.
March 15th. That's
Okay.
fine.
Just a question. Are there any questions you have tonight that we might be able to answer? Or?
I'm going out there to look at the site.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
I'll be.
Make your motion.
I move that we postpone to March 15th for more information at this time.
All right, the motion is to table it till March 15th. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hambrick. Any other questions? Hearing none. Those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous.
Yes.
No.
On personnel, real estate, and litigation.
The trifecta.
Trifecta.
All right. Is there a motion to go into executive session for litigation, personnel, and real estate?
So move.
I'll second. Those in favor, aye. Opposed? It's unanimous. Y'all have a good night.